In the developing countries, I think the consequences could be very serious. And talking to the people I talk to in India, I think they're extremely worried about the issue that you raised of rising inequality. So there has to be a lot of, if I put it crudely, social engineering going on here. There has to be significant investment, education, retraining, hardware, software. And, if I call out again the sort of things that we're seeing, I think the Facebook investment in Geo is really symptomatic or emblematic of what I'm talking about. That is the sort of thing, and I think it's very far-sighted by Mukesh Ambani, and I think it's very far-sighted by Mark Zuckerberg. I'm worried about the decoupling between the US and China. That decoupling poses or gives a tremendous opportunity for India. If supply chains global supply chains are under threat. The advice before was, just-in-time inventory, keep it all tight, keep it low cost, make sure that everything integrated. Post the decoupling, because I think we are going to see US and China decoupled, sadly, and globalization, sadly, under more and more threat. But I think the consequence of that for India is quite interesting, because India has already, there have been moves to make India a more stable manufacturing base. So I remain, with 1.2 billion people in India, with 1.3, 1.4 billion in China, and with India becoming the most populous country on the planet, I have absolutely no doubt whatsoever. I'm still a raging bull on India and indeed China. So why am I interested? Why, from a parochial point of view, self-interested point of view, S4Capital interested point of view, do I think India is important? It's just because it is going to be successful. And I think Prime Minister Modi has done a great job on rebranding or repositioning or strengthening the position of India, not just in an Asian context, but in a worldwide context. And I hope he will continue to do so. So I think that the weather's set, that, there is a tailwind. There are some advantages. The decoupling gives India sort of a lot of wiggle room, in my view. I mean, India as a private equity destination, certain to happen. So there will be more investment. The Facebook investment in Geo and then the surrounding investors in Geo as well to take the 20% stake will stimulate. Now, Amazon will jump in, as we've seen comments in the press, and there'll be more. What will happen with Vodafone and Idea in India. I mean, all these things are going to come under increasing scrutiny by capital, because there's a lot of surplus capital, a lot of free capital for trying to find a home. Then that will trigger the response from the relative governments. It could be India, it could be Vietnam, it could be Indonesia, it could be all of the above. And that's going to trigger a response and a concern about whether these companies should fall into the hands of foreign investors. Because whilst there might not be as much globalization, there'll probably be more globalization of